Yeah, brain gym. That was a really interesting exercise. So at that time in my life, I was creating this product for sports people, and we were working with a whole lot of people that played golf and did athletics and hockey and swimming and canoeing or sea kayaking, and looking at those aspects. And even though I'd been kind of asked to help out with the entrepreneurial side, and working together with sports guys. Now, there's no ways I'm a sports coach, and I don't understand that sort of aspect. But what I did begin to see is that you can go to gym, you can do all your physio and biokinesis and strengthening, and you can go and eat all the right food, and you can go do all your sports drills, and you can go practice and get match fit, and you can go do that. But unless you are focusing on your head, then the rest is almost a waste of time. Because if your head is wrong, if your attitude is wrong in a game, then you're going to miss the shot every single time. So playing with a whole lot of semi-pro golfers going onto the Sunshine Tour, we had them, and I spent some time with them, spent a morning with them every week, and just looking at them, and they would get rigged up with all the electronic stuff to improve the swing and move their foot like 1 centimeter out to the left and do this and angle of the hips and all that. Then they go hit 100 balls with that same sort of drill and things. But if you just don't believe that you're going to hit the ball in the right spot, you're never going to. And just looking at that, so out of me working with him, we created this program called Head Coach. And it was about looking at what happens in the brain when we play sport. Now, sports science and sports psychology does a lot of this. But I didn't want to go down that road. I just wanted kind of basic stuff that you could access without too much complication. And out of that, so we created a whole lot of various items to get people brain fit, because you can do exercises and you can do reps and you weights and you can sprint, but unless your brain is fit to think, if you have to play a 90-minute game or a 4-5 hour golf game, you've got to be mentally fit, because if you lose focus, you're going to lose the game. So Brain Gym is exactly that. It's a 3-month program to get your brain fit, and it's literally an exercise a week and looking at different aspects, and at the end of it you learn some really cool kind of James Bondy stuff, because it's amazing what your brain can do and the abstractness of your brain. And it was realizing that as we put people through this different exercises, people's brains became fitter, and you started to think differently. And when you thought differently, you thought more creatively. And if you thought more creatively, you could solve different problems. And you could concentrate and do all that for longer. And we created marathon brains for the people. And the evidence was specifically with the golfers, is the golf people learned certain mathematical kind of formulas to do things, like before a shot you do this, and this, and you often see it where people, they tuck in the necklace and they brush their hair, or they adjust their gloves, or they play with the strings on the racket and stuff. These are all those little routines that people do, and what's happening in the brain, you're resetting the brain before you take the shot, before you take the kick, before you hit the ball. And it's just about getting that brain back to that homeostasis, focus, inbound game. And Brain Fit allows you to get there faster and for longer. And it's a really interesting game. So it's a mixture of some exercises, then it's got a whole lot of stuff that makes us up brain non-fit, like drinking and eating the wrong foods. But there's also some behavioral stuff, and it's all put into this little exercise book with a journal thing. So going through Brain Gym is a really interesting exercise, and it should actually be mandatory for everybody at high school. It should be mandatory for everybody at university, and it definitely should be mandatory for everyone who's wanting to get into sport and play sport at that level. But yeah, I think anybody who wants to think clearer, sharper for longer, a trip to the Brain Gym might be worth a while.